Hello and welcome to InvestComics TV. I'm Jay Katz with my co-host Martin Pierro from Cosmic Times. And today we have Matt Herring from Secret Identity Podcast. How you doing tonight, Matt?
Good. Hello. Is this thing on? Hello.
Yes.
Magic of the web.
It is.
How you guys doing?
Pretty good. Thanks. Good. Actually, Matthew Herring goes by another name, Matt Man, right?
That has been my nickname since 4th grade.
Very nice.
And what happened was I was bringing comic books into school and putting them behind my textbook. And the teacher called me out because obviously I couldn't answer the thing that I was supposed to answer. And so I brought the book up and some kid said, "We're going to call him Matt Man instead of Batman." Thinking he was being funny, but the nickname stuck. When I was a DJ, it was my radio name. Overnights with the Matt Man, 99.3. Hey. And
wow.
All that good stuff. So it's the name that is stuck. It's the name that more people call me than anything else.
All right.
Other than idiot.
That's great. Well, I like the name. It's pretty cool.
Thank you.
The Secret Identity Podcast, just to start off here, it's a great podcast, by the way. I was interviewed by you guys in New York Comic Con, which I enjoyed very much. It was awesome. How did you guys come to Secret Identity Podcast? How did it start? How did you meet Brian Latendry? And that's how you pronounce his last name, correct? Perfect. How did you meet Brian, and how did the whole thing start up with Secret Identity Podcast?
It's kind of a funny story. It's one of those things where if you just take one little element out of it, we don't have anything. We never met. And what had happened was the movie Firefly or Serenity opened up the weekend before. I was working at a comic book store, and I don't normally work Mondays, and I was putting a poster up. He saw me putting the poster up. It must have been love at first sight. He must have saw my hulking triceps and biceps. But he came into the store, and that was honestly the first time we ever met. I don't normally work Mondays. I didn't normally work Mondays at the time, so it was odd I was there. He came in. We started talking. I said, I got a bunch of guys that come over on Friday night for Sci-Fi Friday on Sci-Fi Channel. We were watching Battlestar Galactica. The first season just started. And he came over, and it was great because his wife and my wife gave us Friday nights. That was the night where we didn't have to worry about anything. We could just have our Friday night geek night. And when the season ended, we kind of looked at each other and said, we cannot give up Friday nights. This is a gift. Right. This is a gift from the gods. We cannot give this up. So Brian suggested we started doing a podcast. And because I had such a horrific experience in radio way back in the 90s, I didn't want to do it. He talked me into it. He said, we'll talk about comics. It'll be great. So we did one show. We posted it. And I remember being so excited because we had 9 downloads on that very first episode.
Wow.
And it's funny now because I cannot even listen to it. If you made me listen to it, I couldn't do it.
Now here's something we hope you'll really like.
Alrighty, welcome to issue number 0 of the Secret Identity Podcast. This is Brian Latendry, and I'm here with Matt Herring, and this is sort of our beta test for a podcast that we're going to try and put together about a lot of different things that we're interested in. We are primarily, and Matt, I'll let you start off with what you sort of envision this podcast being, and we can talk a little bit about that.
I just wanted to feel that it's not we're not one-dimensional people.
Right.
I mean, we're geeks. We're married, thank God.
Yes.
Some of us are athletes.
Mm-hmm.
So for the most part, we are losers and geeks, but we still have a little bit more, and we kind of want to share that. We know we're in a small community. We know that there are people like us out there. We try to run from them most of the time, but for now we kind of want to sit down and talk about some of the stuff that affects us and the things that really mean a lot to us.
So we planned on doing a show every other week. And then he came over. He's like, boy, that was great. Let's do it again. So we did it the following week. I think our 9 downloads went up to about 40, which we still couldn't figure out why. We're like, why are people finding this? And then people are contacting us and telling us that they like the show from the most oddball places. The show started to go on, and I think a couple turning points we had. Anthony Johnston, who was the writer of the book Wasteland, and I believe he did King and Country. He took the run over after a while. He got in touch with Brian and said, I'm launching a new series called Wasteland for Oni Press. and I'm wondering if you guys want to help me push it. So Brian called me. I was in New Jersey. He called me up, and we're like, this is great. I mean, if you could have seen us, it would be like watching the Disney Channel and watching two girls with a cute guy walking by. We were jumping all over the place. People are contacting us. We're doing something right. This is great. So we did that, and then our downloads started to jump again. And things really blew up when we had the Spawn book just had a relaunch, not number-wise, but they took it in a different direction. David Hine was writing it, and I made a comment to David Hine. I said, hey, since we did such a great review and we love the book, next time you see Todd McFarlane, tell him I want an interview. And knowing Dave lives in England, McFarlane is in Arizona. And 2 days later, I get an email that says, your interview with Todd McFarlane is scheduled for Friday at 3 o'clock. And I almost died. I didn't know what to do. I got panicky. I'm calling Brian. I'm sweating. I'm thinking, this is huge, because if we screw this one up, we're never going to get people to come back.
That's right.
And, I mean, our downloads exploded after that one. And it was just a constant, nonstop, ride up, which has been great. And that almost brings us now to modern times.
So basically, it was like love at first sight with you and Brian.
At least for me it was. I don't know about Brian.
Your eyes met at the comic book store, and there you go. The rest is history.
That's where most good relationships happen at the comic book store anyway.
Sure. So what number episode are you on now?
Oh, boy. Are we in the 300s? I think we're in the 300s.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
But, yeah, and what we have done is, for 5 years, we have recorded almost 2 shows a week, never missed an episode. We have never missed a week of putting out new content, which that is a feat in itself, I think, for us. And considering Brian has had a baby born during that time. Well, he didn't born it. His wife did. We've had some deaths in the family. We've had some career and life changes. We've had all sorts of stuff go on. We're terrified to give up the streak. We're so afraid to be the one to blow it. I had diverticulitis last Thanksgiving, and I mean, I was dying. I thought I was going to literally die. And we ended up recording that next day after I got out of the emergency room after just ruining my Thanksgiving. We ended up recording because we were so afraid about the streak. But I think one of the things that this show has done for us is it gives us a purpose to live, if you know what I mean. It gives us a place to talk about what we love to talk about. It gives us something to look forward to. And we really get excited when we get to record. It's like you hear about the athlete that has the broken leg, and all of a sudden they need to get that adrenaline running so they can do the big event. That's kind of what we do. We can pull it together at that particular moment. My daughter's having my daughter just turned 12, and she's having a birthday party, and all her friends are parading through right now, so I'm just watching them all.
Oh, okay. All right, well, let's take a quick break and let your daughter enjoy her party a little bit, and we'll be right back to follow up with some more questions with you.